Welcome to Chain Break, the podcast that explores the history and secrets to success from today's Midwest-based family businesses. And now from Bryan Equipment Studio 44 in Goshen, Ohio, here's your host, Rick Bryan.
Hey folks, back again, episode 27, Studio 44 at 6300 Smith Road, Bryan Equipment Sales Headquarters. This is Rick Bryan, your host, and a great episode coming up here. We have a guest in. We had several guest ins yesterday for our Retail of the Year banquet and award ceremony for 2023, and we actually have our Retail of the Year of 2023 for the entire Bryan Equipment Sales territory with us, and a great story, a great store out of Jasper, Indiana in the Y. But we have Matt Mundy from Tom's Lawn and Garden, and he is here to just talk all things steel, all things Tom's Lawn and Garden, and give us a little history of how his dad started the company, second generation there in Jasper, 1985, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
1985. How did your dad? What was he doing before he started the business?
Well, believe it or not, he was in the farm equipment industry.
Yeah.
And back in the 70s and 80s, they owned Mundy Implement down in Ireland, Indiana, and they were a case dealership. And back in the, early 80s there, when Case and International merged, they lost the case dealership. So I always remember him saying that he was really in the process of kind of, talking to the bank and going to be taking over the business. And long story short, that happened, and glad that that happened before he went into debt.
Well, that's a good thing. So he was working for Mooney, or
yeah, it was actually
had ownership in it. Or?
Well, no, his dad and his dad's.
So your
brothers.
grandfather?
Yeah, my grandfather and his brothers owned the dealership.
Oh, so you're really kind of third generation.
Yeah, but that was a completely different entity. Yeah. So after they kind of lost the case dealership, he was looking for a job or what's his next thing, and he decided to open a lawn and garden store in Jasper, which that was in 1985.
Nice. That's a great year.
Yeah. Long time ago.
A long time. Hey, easy. That's the year I graduated high school. So tell the listeners, so Ireland, I'm not familiar. Where is Ireland?
Oh, it's only about 4 or 5 miles away.
From
so it's
Jasper.
Just a little suburb.
Is it south, east, west, north?
Just west.
West of Jasper. And Jasper's, what you would consider it southern Indiana, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're in southern Indiana. Yeah. So it's 1985. He's out of work. I'm assuming grandfather just retired.
Pretty well.
Yeah. Did he ever work for your father or help out?
No. I think Grandpa passed away before that all really took place and stuff like that. So,
how did he tell the listeners the uniqueness of the property there in Jasper? The why that you're... Why? Yeah. How did your dad find that?
Well...
was there a building there, or was it empty?
Yeah, we actually started out on a different location back then.
Okay.
He found this building, and he started out with Toro, and also I believe he started out with like Partner Pioneer chainsaws and stuff years ago. And kind of the way the story went, about 2 years later, 1987, everybody's probably heard of Stens.
It's in Jasper, right?
Yeah, they were based out of Jasper, and they were a retail dealer just like we were. And at that time, I believe they carried Steel, Simplicity, and Wheel Horse, I believe. And Stens was actually looking to get out of the retail business and really focus on their wholesale. And we've kind of grown up with those guys, and they've made some leaps and bounds, as everybody knows. But anyway, Dad purchased out the retail side of Stens, and that's really how we came to be a steel dealer. So,
really?
Yeah.
That's interesting how it works out.
That.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. So, and that was 1987, and we're still here today. And
so sorry, I was looking. that location was the Sten's location in the Y?
No,
Okay.
no. That was actually the old John Deere dealership.
Was it?
Yeah.
Really?
It was.
And then so they moved south of town. The John Deere
They
dealership.
moved farther west.
West.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the building came for sale.
Yeah, and we moved there in, like I say, '95.
Okay. All right.
And, we basically doubled the space. We had this big old warehouse, and, we were really
High traffic area.
Yeah, very high traffic area. I mean,
Yeah.
it's probably the most high traffic area in the whole town of Jasper, really, where the two highways come together. But so anyway, we're sitting there with this big old building, and really didn't know what to do with it. And then, that's when we got into the appliance business. And when I say appliance business, I'm talking like kitchen refrigerators and washers and dryers and stoves and stuff like that. But so anyway,
Did you start off with Bosch, or what was the key line back then? Do you remember?
Back then it was a Manna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that industry is constantly changing. You don't know who's buying who and who's selling what, and so anyway, we got that business, and we kind of got 2 showrooms there, which is all combined, but yet there's some differences there, and then since then we got into the fireplace business and the gas grill business, and it's been good.
Now, do you guys install the fireplaces?
We do.
Yeah. So you have installation teams.
So we sell.
And I'm assuming that they do appliances too, that they can kind of cross over a little bit.
Oh yeah. We sell and service, and it's kind of a strange combination. People think of lawnmowers and they look at a refrigerator, but it's all geared for the homeowner. I mean, if you need a refrigerator, you're probably going to need a lawnmower, and vice versa. And
what fireplace lines do you have currently?
our main brand is Heat Glow.
Okay.
So
and then the grills.
There we do like Weber and Traeger and Big Green Egg.
Oh, nice. Yeah, the 3 big ones.
Yeah, 3 big names there. Yeah. So.
And then on the power equipment side, steel, obviously.
Yeah. Steel's our biggie, and then Grasshopper, Toro, and then also we were a quite large Simplicity dealer, but that's going to be interesting how that's all going to pan out. So
interesting.
Yeah.
But things are changing today. They're always changing. Things are always changing.
Yeah.
I mean, in the day, I think you guys were a Snapper dealer, right?
No,
never Snapper.
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Everybody else in their brother carried Snapper years ago.
So tell, getting a little bit off the history. So in '95, you move into the building at the Y. Mm-hmm. It's a big building, so you get the appliance side going. But I think Jasper's a unique. All towns are unique, but the uniqueness of the German heritage of Jasper, it has a strong German heritage.
Yeah,
correct?
it does.
Yeah.
It definitely does. Yeah.
So Sten's goes to a wholesaler, basically, right? Mm-hmm. But who's the other big company that all of the listeners will know about that's in Jasper?
Yeah, we've got a couple of them, like Jasper Engines and Transmissions. They're huge. And then Kimball. Yeah. The Kimball International, Kimball Electronics, and then there's Master Brand Cabinets.
Yeah.
Is there, but that's probably the biggies.
Yeah. I think Jasper Engines, most of the listeners probably can have heard that, can relate to that. Maybe you've sent an engine back there or bought an engine from them, right?
I'd say most people don't understand how big they really are. They're huge.
Yeah. That's kind of neat that you have that mix there in that town.
Yeah.
Really, I was talking about it yesterday to a customer in West Virginia that, they're lacking that little bit of that infrastructure. They've got the energy with the coal and the gas. They've got some manufacturing, but not a lot. Where, you guys are very, very fortunate to have that. Plus, Southern Indiana, a lot of people wouldn't realize the strength of the logging community in Southern Indiana, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
and the big thing with Du Bois County in general, I mean, Jasper's definitely the seat of the county, but to find your next nearest big city, you're going kind of south an hour to Evansville. An hour 15 north is Bloomington.
Yeah. Which they're not that big.
No, right? We're far enough apart.
Yeah,
but, and as far as like our coverage, as far as customer base, I mean, yeah, we'll get down to Evansville, once a week with appliance service and stuff.
Wow.
And, and I'd say within a half hour, 45-minute circle.
On the OPE side, 50-50, 80-20, what residential to commercial, 80-20, 70-30?
Yeah, I'm going to say probably 80% residential, 20% commercial.
Yeah.
We're in a town of, say, 16,000. You only have so many commercial cutters.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you could say your municipalities and stuff are considered commercial, but,
Right. Yeah.
Every town's got some.
That's a good point. I always consider they are definitely commercial, but I always, when I ask for that break, I'm really to just how you answered it. I'm thinking of commercial landscapers, right?
Right.
Trailers, trucks coming to my house, cutting my grass.
I mean, most of the guys we have back home are just one-man operations, and they do well. They've had a couple good seasons here. And,
yeah. Good. Yeah, so 95, and your mom, let's not forget, she's always been very active in the company.
Mom and Dad started back in 85, and like I say, it was just the two of them. Yeah. It was, cool. her and Dad doing it all those years.
Right.
So.
And now how many employees?
We've got about 20.
20, yeah. That's cool. And when did you start?
Gosh. I don't know, back when I was a pain in the butt, probably.
Full time.
Been there ever since.
Full time. When did you start full time?
No, I'd say in the 97.
97. So not long after the move to the new building.
Right.
Okay.
I was in high school when we moved there. So.
Yeah. All right. Good deal. Through the years, any other lines in and out that come to mind on the power equipment side? Those have been the same.
Not really. We stayed pretty well with the same lines every year.
Yeah.
We did add DR products, several years back, and it's been okay.
Yeah. A question that came up yesterday that I thought was pretty fascinating, and I want your take on it, because with your different mix of products, I'm going to say that the commission-based pay on service probably would be very difficult. I understand how it works and that. What are your thoughts on that?
And as far as commission-based on service,
on service side, yeah.
We've also been talking about finding a program like that, but
right.
In this industry, there's just too much downtime in the fall and winter time to do that. And,
well, the gentleman, and I can totally relate, that the technician or the employee really has to be smart about their money, or they're going to be broke during wintertime, right?
But at the same time, our shop guys, they're some of the best in the industry. I mean, they work on all their own vehicles. I mean, we do our maintenance. Those guys, they're always willing and they're able to do about anything you want them to do.
Two gold?
One gold right now.
One gold. Okay. All right. Yeah. And an ambassador?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
Ambassador with several.
Yeah, I think that commission-based works in some situations, but that's why I mentioned that with the appliances and the mix you have. I don't know, it'd be you could do a bonus type system, but to go straight commission like what was discussed yesterday would be kind of scary.
It'd be very scary for the employee as well.
Right.
Yeah.
It'd be scary.
Because that's definitely feast or famine there.
Yeah. The other thing that was brought up yesterday in conjunction with that, and I want your take on it, was, and I think it was dead on correct. How does the service writer or the service manager, when you take in repairs, what's that process? What does that look like for Tom Garden?
Face it, we're in the small equipment industry, as long as a lot of your listeners here. Right. It is a struggle anymore.
Yeah.
It's with labor rates and part pricing, to fix stuff that's reasonable, worth repairing.
Right.
And we've talked about that a lot at the store too, is, the biggest thing is the check-in process. Just telling the customer, hey, this is a $200 blower.
Right.
How far should we go on it?
Yeah.
It's difficult because, that customer wants you to try, but yet at the same time, you're putting money into it, just checking it in and getting it down to the shop guys. And
as soon as you check it in, right?
I think it's only going to get tougher in the future,
Yeah, and I think yesterday that what was said was the importance of that service manager, service writer has gotten exponentially more and more important because of what you just said.
It really has.
If that individual is not doing the customer a service and giving them all the information and giving them all the options, it could get ugly really fast.
True.
Right.
True.
And I thought that was an interesting conversation when it kind of went that way. And I could see the ask was for more training along that not technical training, but more of that that service writer training because it's a combination of sales and technical knowledge and it's a whole gamut of things.
We've got the best service writer we've had in years. Brian does an awesome job, but the thing that's a little different at times, we kind of all can do the same job. He may be the service manager, but yet he may not be the frontline person talking to the customer at the counter. And, you got to really train all your guys to understand what, repairing takes. Because, I could be checking a piece of equipment in just as long as the next parts guy, and, they all need to know what things take to repair these days. So.
Right. Well, it was a healthy discussion, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was helpful for the whole group to just kind of get a take on other dealerships and the way they are handling that. Mm-hmm. So history-wise, any funny stories or maybe weird like theft? Have you guys had any issues with anybody breaking in? Have you had any fires or anything like that? The listeners would be like, oh my gosh,
Nothing major. The only thing I can remember years ago, believe it or not, when we were down on Mill Street, which is our first location there, Dad and another guy got in the Christmas tree business one year.
Yeah.
And we come to work one morning and there was this Christmas tree thrown through the front door. So okay, I think they did get off with some saws and stuff, and nothing huge. But my God, that was 25 years ago.
25 years. Yeah, still, of all things to use to break the door down, it's the symbol of Christmas, right? And then you're going to rob me. Yeah, that's not fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but no, I mean, it's just been business as normal over the years, and just survive the daily race.
I guess now, and I say it over and over again on these podcasts, you're at the point where I'm assuming you're doing business with children of your father's customers.
Oh yeah,
right. Maybe even third generation. You might be
how the full circle comes around.
Yeah. So you've probably had customers coming in that their father brought them into the store. Yeah. That's cool.
Absolutely.
So, I'm just trying to think of anything from the historical standpoint. Have we missed anything that you? Yeah. So.
No, I say we keep growing and growing. And,
right.
It's amazing the location we're at now is, my God, they were selling farm equipment, working on combines in our shop years ago. And
right.
It's like, we're maxed out to the gills now, and.
Imagine pulling in a combine.
How things have changed over the years,
Right.
Equipment's gotten bigger, and
Dad, still active somewhat.
Yeah.
When did he kind of hand the reins over to you? What year was that approximately?
Gosh, it was kind of a slow step there. He's really back down the last few years and stuff like that, and. This past year, he comes in every once in a while just to visit. And,
And your mom?
She did okay.
Yeah.
Like anybody else elderly, she's slowed down.
But she comes in too? Or
no, not a whole lot.
Okay.
Not a whole lot anymore, so.
All right, good deal. Favorite steel product?
Oh, good question. I don't know. I still love my 261 chainsaw. I tell you what, it's
nice.
Years ago, I had 440 and or a 441 and 044 years ago, and I always thought that was heaven. And
as you get older,
I get, I don't need all that weight, you know.
I know, I understand.
But, I think it'll do anything I wanted to do. So
cool. Keys to success for Tom's Lawn and Garden. If your employees were listening to this, what would you say? One or two things that you do at Tom's Lawn and Garden that have enabled you to be in business since 1985.
Good question. There's a lot of things there.
Yeah.
Probably the first thing and the most thing is get a good staff.
Yeah.
Right now we probably have the best staff we probably ever have.
Cool.
We've got some guys that can, take the bull by the reins and handle it. And, it's nice that I can step away for a day or two, something like this, and really don't have to worry about anything back home. Nice. I mean, they do a good job. But, as far as business-wise, definitely as COVID taught us, it's all about inventory control.
Yeah.
You can't be too heavy, but you can't be too light on stuff. And,
everybody got heavy, dude.
Inventory can kill you.
Everybody got heavy.
But a lot of it too is, your business software. I go back to that all the time. I mean, you've got to have a good business software program to one, just operate your billing naturally, but inventory control, that is so crucial. We utilize Ideal software. Like all of our parts, for example, we have minimum, maximum levels, and we do order recommendations. A small business should never go without an air filter or a bar or a sprocket. Something that you need every day. You got to make sure stuff like that's on your shelves.
Yeah.
And that keeps the customers happy and coming back. So
that you're the first that's mentioned that, and I think that's an important key to success.
It is. Any more people
analyzing, managing that. You have to have a system in place that enables you to sell, right? Mm-hmm. If you're too busy trying to find the part or input the part or whatever, that you lose a sale, right?
Big time. So this day and age, people they won't wait.
Right.
When they want it now. Yeah. And if you can't find it, they're going to go down the road or they're going to search the good old internet.
That's right.
And that's one thing that I hate to brag, but it's amazing how many parts we do stock. Not that we stock real heavy, but we always have usually what you need. Granted, there's the oddball stuff you're never going to carry.
That's why we're here.
Exactly. Yeah. But all of your stuff you should have on the shelf. By God, we got for about every model.
Cool.
So.
Well, thank you. Thanks for sharing that. I think some of the listeners will appreciate that. That's something that hasn't been brought up before. The importance of that. So,
that's very important.
Yeah.
Really important.
Anything else come to mind? People, your systems, anything else that over the years led to the success of Tom's Lawn?
No, just ordering smart. I know we've been in some meetings and I've heard people complain about their freight,
right?
Which freight isn't necessary, but you got to have it. But there's no reason you should be spending $3,000-$4,000 in freight with Bryant equipment from what I've heard other dealers talk about. And,
right.
It's crazy.
That was a daily ordering, and they were not ordering to the system, right?
I think back in the day when you guys used to have free freight, over what, $5,000, something like that. We made money on you guys because you guys would still do the elite credits,
at the end of the year. Yeah.
But again, if you've got the business software where you can order, run your recommendations and it'll tell you the dollar amount, when you can make an order or not, know.
Yeah, it only helps us too from a distribution standpoint. well, that's why we put some of that pricing in there to try to persuade people not to order every day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
If everybody ordered every day,
Yeah.
I'd have to double my staff,
Exactly.
and then I'd have to increase some costs and prices. Right.
Yeah.
So the prices might go up. I
Yeah.
mean, so it's
Always
a
very
fine
true.
line
It's
there
both
on
ways,
that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the smarter or the better or wiser, I think is the right word, that the customers order, it only helps them because we can maintain some efficiencies to maintain some better pricing. Yeah, cool. Favorite restaurant if we come to Jasper? Where are we going to eat? You got a go-to place?
Well, all the out-of-towners always love going to Schnitzelbank.
I know. That's where I want
the
to
old
go.
German restaurant. So.
You're probably worn out.
You've never had. Yeah, it's never a bad meal there.
It's never a bad meal, yeah. But you're probably worn out on it, huh? Yeah. So, folks, it's a very traditional German restaurant, just south of Jasper.
Yeah, it's kind of more in town. But
Yeah, right,
south,
it's right there.
Southeast side,
Yeah.
yeah.
And what's it called again?
The Schnitzelbank.
Schnitzelbank,
Yeah.
And a neat decor, just a nice setup. Yeah, very, very traditional. Wrapping up here.
Yeah, now we got, it seems like we got 25 different Mexican restaurants in town anymore. And, and you also can't beat the old chicken place down in Ireland, so.
I've been there also.
Have you?
I forgot. Yeah. I think your dad and I have to dig back. It might have been Jay Johnson. Do you remember Jay?
Oh yeah,
I
that's
think it
been
was
a long
three
time
of us.
back.
Yeah, it was Jay. It was Jay Johnson.
That's place been there forever.
Yeah. I have been there. It's quite a while ago.
If you don't like chicken, you don't go there.
Hobbies, interests outside of work, anything? You got kids. Some
we're
of you
chasing
raised-
kids.
Yeah,
constantly to ball games, to
good.
dance practices, cheerleading, and all that stuff.
Nice.
And it never ends. It seems like so.
Yeah. I always ask this, and don't feel any business book or anything you've read, any podcast you've listened to lately that you're like, man, that really hit home, or
No, I listen to you once in a while.
All right, well, thanks. I appreciate that.
I drive to work every day. It's only about 5 minutes, so I really don't even get time to turn the radio on.
Well, you have enough time, and I'm going to plug a podcast right now. It's called The President's Daily Brief. It's 15 minutes long every morning. A guy by the name of Mike Baker, ex-CIA analyst, It's a nice podcast. It's basically what he would brief the president on that is going on in the world. And it's usually just 3 topics. He'll just pick the 3 headlines of world politics that are going on, and it's a nice, easy listen. He does a good job with it. So it's called The President's Daily Brief. So I've just caught on to it lately, and I don't listen to it every day, but it's nice to get your news from a source like that. That's not he's apolitical. He's just telling you what's going on in the world.
There's deal, huh?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a twist to it, but not much. I would tell the listeners, I just finished the book Kabul, and it's kind of fascinating on the withdrawal of our troops and the fiasco that took place with that. Kind of a pretty sad story and situation that happened. But anyway, so I probably could guess this before I ask this question. Sorry. Anything else that we've missed talking about? Anything your customers, your employees, if they're listening to this, you'd like, a shout out or, yeah.
No, I say we've got a great staff back home, and
good. Yeah.
Been going smooth. So we'll keep it going that way, hopefully.
Yeah. So if you have listened, maybe you haven't all the way made it to the end, we always like to donate some money to your favorite charity for sitting down with me. Much appreciated taking the time out of your day to do this. I think I know what your favorite charity is going to be, but you go ahead and tell me, and we'll make a nice donation to it. I might be wrong.
I'd say probably something for maybe Alzheimer's research.
Okay, all right. I was wrong, man.
What were we thinking?
And we could split it up. Once I mentioned this, we could do a split up diabetes.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
My wife does
I
struggle with that.
I don't know. Would it be Juvenile Diabetes Research Fund, or would it be just the American Diabetes Association?
Probably just the
American Diabetes Association. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. So we'll make a nice donation to both those organizations. Usually the Alzheimer's, I can find a local one, so I'll try to find a local one there in Jasper. Sometimes even with the Diabetes Associations, they sometimes have local chapters also. Cool. All right, I just, one more time, I'm just saying, any questions for me, anything we've missed? All good?
Yeah. I think we're good.
Cool.
Unless there's
Well, congratulations,
Well, thank you.
2023
It's-
Dealer of the Year, Retailer of the Year.
quite an honor. We appreciate that.
It's well earned, well deserved. So yeah,
it is humbling, that's for sure.
cool, good. That's a great word, man. It's a great word for everything we do in life. Right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So, good deal. All right.
This has been Chain Break with Rick Bryan. Thanks for listening, and remember to subscribe to Chain Break now on your favorite podcast platform. Until next time, stay humble and be kind.
Don't need no big box confusion.